Check out YouTube, Instagram, X, all that.
At Draft Offsides. We started doing, producer Sergey started doing, what are they called? On
Shorts.
YouTube? Shorts on YouTube. They're kind of funny.
Enzo calls them trousers.
Very short trousers. You fucking idiot. Oh my god.
I would be monitoring Wong and who comes into that position in one of the attacking three positions. Yeah. It might not be Wong though, but it was interesting that he started. He's got the start over Strand Larson, even though he got a goal. But the goal was very much a design set piece goal, so it was just interesting. I'm not like jumping on the Wong train, but yeah, I'm keeping an eye on it.
You don't like
definitely had some.
You don't like Wong?
I like Wong.
Yeah, you like Wong?
Yeah, I do like Wong, but he had some good moments last year too. I know what you were trying to do but you're not going to get me. Okay, and those are the matches. Should we what did you say?
He plays hard.
Wong has really tough.
Yeah, he's got very good control.
Okay.
He goes the distance.
Moving on to meme, but okay.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to episode 72 of Draft Offsides. I'm with Tiko and Enzo. My name is Keefe. And Boxing Day is over. That was the last game of the new year. We're officially halfway through the season, guys. How do you feel?
I feel pretty good fantasy-wise. But my team-wise, we are shit. So I'm
how do you feel? What about you, Tiko? We're me, Enzo, and Tiko are sitting 1, 2, 3 in our main league. So it's interesting.
I feel good. I thought it'd be pretty difficult to go 3-0, and I just need one more victory against Kyle, and I'll be 3-0 during this Boxing Day. The Boxing Day, the first game week, I left 2 people on the bench, and I still came out victorious because of Luis Diaz and Mo Salah.
I was looking at Mo Salah's returns for the year. He's literally like single-handedly like winning you every game.
And Liverpool.
I think Mo Salah by himself might have outscored Enzo's fantasy team for the year.
It's possible.
I don't think
not
so.
Quite. Not quite.
No,
but
not quite.
Pretty good. Okay, we have a bunch of games to get through. We're going to try and do it a little differently, keep our episodes shorter, and then maybe start trying to release the second one later in the week. So that's the game plan. So with that being said, we're just going to hop into the recaps, and we'll do waivers, and then that'll be it. You guys ready?
Yeah.
First game, West Ham 0, Liverpool 5. What do we, kind of a given. Are you guys even, I'm like shocked Lopetegui isn't closer to getting sacked than he is right now.
Oh, who are they going to hire? Southgate?
I don't know. I know they've had a run of a few good games, but like in general, like I don't think they look very good. Like they don't look really good. They spend a ton of money. I just think West Ham. I think the sooner they get rid of him, the sooner a lot of those players get unlocked, in my opinion.
You mean unlocked as in get better?
Yeah.
Maybe. Like Kudus had a good game. He hit the post and the crossbar this game. Bone was okay until the injury. Am I surprised? No, I'm not surprised that Liverpool won. Am I surprised they put in fucking 5? A little bit. I didn't expect them to put through 5. But Liverpool's on fire right now, and Salah is inevitable. He is Thanos.
He is inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Tiko, anyone from this game?
Everyone on Liverpool has been on the tear scoring-wise, especially Mo Salah. We mentioned him. He is inevitably unstoppable. In the last 4 games, 116 points while averaging 29 points per game, which is fucking insane.
Fucking hell,
29.
man.
So it's essentially like getting 2 players for the price of 1. Every time he plays, he's scared.
Where was he going in drafts? Just real quick. Where was he going in drafts?
So his average 4.18.
Yeah.
4.5. And he had games of 40 points, 23, 41.15, and 11.5. Those are his last 4 games.
This wasn't even his best game. The fuck?
I saw a crazy stat. So he has 8 games so far this season with a goal and an assist, which just broke the record for the whole season in the Premier League. So before this, for a whole season, and someone had only scored 7 games having both a goal and an assist, and he already broke that record halfway through the season.
Dude, did you see his double nutmeg too?
Yeah. Do you think he meant that?
I think he meant the first one. He definitely meant. The second one was a little bit more, fortuitous, but the first one he definitely meant.
Yeah, that was crazy. Trent had a really good game as well. Obviously scored a banger, but I think in general it just seems like he's having a little bit more freedom to get involved in the attack, where it seemed like initially he was kind of being held a little bit back, and it seems like he's kind of stepping into it.
Some of his passing in this game was just so nice. Imagine him and then Robinson on the left. If we had him for England, amazing.
Too bad he's an American. Okay,
Scouse American.
Scouse. Rumors of Trent to Madrid. I mean, I don't really care because right now it's looking like it's going to happen in the summer. Is there any chance it happens in January?
No,
I think
it looks like everything's been like the Spanish papers are all over it, and usually when they say it, especially when it's Madrid, and this is Madrid's MO, they get players for free. So I think he's done. I think this is his last season. Maybe he goes out with a bang, but this Liverpool team's going to look a lot different next season.
Yeah. I mean, Connor Bradley's there. It's not like they don't have cover. He's not leaving him high and dry.
No, I hear you, but you say TAA and you say Connor Bradley.
Yeah, it's different. The big thing here is Jared Bowen on the West Ham side, the injury.
Yep.
Incredibly concerning for West Ham. Are we picking anyone up? There's someone I have on waivers. We can hold off unless you guys have a shot
on that. I think Kudus is starting to play better. We've seen that already. He was unlucky today. But to pick up off West Ham, like, who's going to take his spot? Who's going to go on that role?
No one's going to replace Bowen.
No one.
All right, moving on. Next game. Everton 0, Forest 2. Forest continues to plow through teams. Like, unstoppable, huh?
They're playing so well, both defensively and offensively. It's nuts. Right now, they're sitting in second. They're sitting in second place in the Premier. If anyone even said that, you're a genius. But no one said that.
No. Murillo was injured, and they still managed to keep a clean sheet. So that's one of their two top defenders. They're still held on. Yeah. I mean, Wood scored a great goal. Anthony Alenga involved again with the assist.
It was a nice goal. Like, for a big man like that to like lift it over the keeper, impressive.
Yeah, really showed really good composure in my mind to be able to do that.
I still think he's still top 10 strikers in the league right now?
Yeah, easy.
He's got to be, right? With the 11 goals that he's got.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's only 3 players that have scored more goals than him this season. It's Haaland, Salah, Palmer are the only 3 players that have scored more goals than him this season. So huge player to have on your team. From an Everton standpoint, I think they're just really waiting to get Dwight McNeil back because he's been out for about a month with an injury, with a knee injury, which you just never know with knees. It's kind of scary. That could be 3 more months. But it seems like the thing with knees is that the timetable is very uncertain. So that's obviously a bummer. But I really like that Ndiaye from Everton. He obviously didn't have as good as a game this game as he did previously, but I think otherwise from Everton you're grabbing defenders and then that's about it.
Besides defenders, Pickford has been on a hot streak of his own, 55.5 points over the last 4, averaging 13.88. His season average was 8.8, so he's been on a tear. 7 points, 18, 12, 18, and obviously he saved that penalty from Haaland. I think during that game they didn't win any of the games, so he's been giving up goals or clean sheets or ties. So their defense, like you mentioned, Keefe, and their goalkeeper as well, has been kind of diamond in the rough for them this year.
Absolutely. All right, moving on. Fulham 2, Bournemouth 2. Anthony Robinson with another assist. So he's the only defender in the top 10 with 10 assists?
No, top 10 players with assists. He's the only one that's a defender. Everyone else is a midfielder or an attacker.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Which is crazy. I think he's got 7 total for the season, I think.
Yeah.
So he's right up there. I think he's actually in the top 5.
Evan Nielsen got a goal just when people were probably starting to think about dropping him. I already did drop him. So he's just one of those very frustrating players where if he doesn't score a goal, he's pretty useless in your fantasy lineup. Unless he's drawing 3 penalties in a game. But that'll probably never happen again. Django Otara with a goal, but he came off the bench. So it'd be interesting to see if he starts the next game.
But you look at four of his last 5 games, he's at double digits. So I think this is just because of the short work week. So he'll probably be playing the next game.
He's been on fire. The last 4, he's averaging 15 points.
Yeah, he's a good one. What else do we have then? Bournemouth not rich enough to steal all the points. We were kind of joking last week that Fulham, obviously we were talking about Fulham being the Robin Hood team, steal from the rich, give to the poor, but Bournemouth isn't really poor. It's kind of middle class.
Yeah.
So
we just had to take a little bit.
From a Fulham perspective, Harry Wilson with another goal. That's 2 goals in back-to-back games.
Yeah,
Anyone else? Raul Jimenez scored. So I think
Mhm.
last week we were starting to think that if Raul Jimenez kind of had another sitter, that Muniz might come in. But I think with that Jimenez goal, Muniz probably isn't going to start the next game, I would guess.
Well, you would think so. Or maybe it's rotation again, because I think they're going to rotate. Game week again is a short week, so we'll see. But it's not a bad problem to have. 2 good strikers. We already know that. So good luck to him. He scored. I had him on my bench. Pissed me off a little bit. But yeah, it is what it is. Still my win.
Okay, next game. Newcastle 0 or Newcastle United 0. I'm sorry. No. Next game. Newcastle United 2. Manchester United 0. How did that feel, Tiko?
You made that so difficult.
I kept wanting to say United for both of them. I just kept saying United in my head. United.
What have you had is 1-6.
Yeah, this felt like a game that United was playing to like hope for a tie 0-0. They had who was going to create for them? Did you guys see the lineup they put out?
Yeah, it's just
yeah, it was. And they caught Newcastle, who's like on a fucking roll. Like, who's going to stop Newcastle nowadays? They're scoring goals every game, scoring a lot of goals every game. And they've been on a tear with a bunch of players scoring a shitload of points. I don't know if you guys seen their like 5 games. They scored 2 goals, 3, 4, 3, 4. And then, even the games they lost or tied, they scored 2 goals or 3 goals. So they've been on an offensive tear like Liverpool 2.0.
Well, also a defensive tear. I mean, in their last 5 games, they've let in 1 goal.
Yeah.
So it's just both sides. They're now up to 5th, also. So they're just right behind Chelsea. Like I said, they've been on such a rip.
I mean, quietly doing it.
Yeah, even players that we've been kind of low on throughout the podcast, like Guimaraes, Bruno has been producing, Joe Linton has been producing, obviously Aaron Gordon, who's playing like it was last year. Isak's back and he's Anthony Gordon, yeah. Isak's back and has been, over the last month, the top-performing fantasy player overall. He scored more than Mo Salah in the last 4 games. So, just ride the Newcastle wave. And how's their schedule? Are they playing anyone?
I don't think it matters. You know what I mean? They play Tottenham next. That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. They can keep a clean sheet there. But after Tottenham, it's Arsenal. So it gets a little tricky.
Well, no, Arsenal's
that's in the EFL Cup. That's in the EFL
then
Cup.
It's
so it's
Wolves, Bournemouth, Southampton, Fulham. So
Yeah.
they have like and then City, February 15 is when they're like a decent team, I guess.
No, Newcastle looks good, and Isak's been on fucking fire. That guy can't stop scoring, can't stop assisting.
So
he's got so many goal involvements. But what happens when he goes down? If he goes down, because we know he's injury prone.
So let me get this straight, Tiko. Salah has 2 40-point games in his last 3, and Isak has scored more than him this month.
In the last 4 games, yeah.
Wow.
Crazy, right? Because Isak has had games of 23.25, 43, 34, and 17.
Wow.
Because, Salah had a dud at 11.15, which is crazy saying that's a dud at 11 points.
All right. Real quickly, are there any Manchester United players that you're starting now? Maybe other than maybe Bruno Fernandes, maybe Amad Diallo.
Mazraoui.
You'd start him?
I still like Mazraoui. He still gets
Would you start him?
Would I start him over the defenders I got right now? Probably not. But if you're gonna pick 3 players, that you already mentioned 2 of them, Mazraoui's probably the only other one.
Okay.
You'd probably start Onana, probably.
I'm so sick of Onana. Get him out of here.
I'm gonna give a shot that you guys are probably not gonna be surprised at Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
So the last 5 games, he had 4.5, 9.25, 1.75, and 9.75. So all of those games are losses, with the exception of against City, where he had 9.75. But we know what you're going to get from him. You're going to get the aerial clearances. You might get the clean sheet, and you're going to get tackles won. So obviously you have the risk of someone, them losing the game. But I think Harry Maguire usually does contribute even if they lose. And he's not really rostered by a lot of people. He's only rostered 23%. And from the back 3, he seems to be getting starting position on a pretty consistent basis.
Okay. I won't argue that. I personally wouldn't do that, but I think it's also just when we get to waivers, you'll see there's just a lot of good defenders out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's that is someone to shout if you're digging into the trenches of United. Okay, next game. Ipswich 2, Chelsea 0. Chelsea now has gone 3 games without a win after I think a 5-game win streak in the Premier League prior to this. And yeah, it's just a little rough. They let in a goal that was a penalty that I think was a little suspect. But I don't know if I'm just being biased. I don't know. But it felt to me like a little suspect.
It looked really suspect. One, he hit the ball way ahead of him, so he was never going to get to it. Two, he was getting up and he slid into the keeper, like the way his foot hit. It was barely anything there. It looked very, very suspect.
Yeah, it is what it is. Chelsea probably should have scored. They had a lot of really good chances in the first half. Keeper made some really good saves, some good blocks. Chelsea missed some chances they should have had. So
And Kunku, man, should have had that in.
oh man, that was tough. Yeah, just some really 20 shots from Chelsea. Shout out to Delap though, scored 26 points, goal and an assist. He was a handful from the very first whistle. He was just barging into players like it was like the 90s.
I feel like if and when Ipswich go down, Delap's staying up. Someone's got to pick him up.
I think I'd be worried that someone takes him in January. I don't know. I don't think there's a ton of money in January, but I think he's definitely someone that people are going to be interested in.
Good player.
Yeah, Amari Hutchinson got the other goal, former Chelsea player. Didn't matter that he was a Chelsea player. He still decided to do a fucking backflip after he scored, like a punk ass bitch. But hey, is what it is. Kudos to him. Good goal. Chelsea just couldn't quite get it together. And the fear with Chelsea is that Maresca's kind of been found out and that now people kind of have figured out the game plan. And then now the challenge is he going to be able to adjust to that?
But what is the game plan? Like attacking football?
No, just stifle the wings and just force them to cross the ball in to like people that don't necessarily like. It's not like we have a ton of strength in those positions.
Look,
and
Chelsea's a young team, very young team. I think it's anything but them learning. Like they weren't going to be. They had a really good run at the beginning. I think they're still learning. They're still building. It's a very young team. So I know they lost to Ipswich, but it could happen to anybody. Tottenham, right here. But it's a young team.
Not the best of company.
It's not the best of company. But I'm just saying it's a young team, and you just got caught with your pants down. And I think there was a little bit of home bias by the referee. And I think you had 20 shots on goal.
Yeah. No, I'm not that like bummed about it. I also, Chelsea is a young team, and I think the fact that they were kind of riding their luck for a while there and got some wins in a row made people think they're better than they were, and this is probably closer to what they are, where they're going to have really good games and games where they slip up. Is what it is. Next game, Palace 2, Southampton 1. Snooze fest is the only note on this game. Wasn't the most exciting game. Eberechi Eze did have a nice goal from outside the box that he hit one time. Ismail Assar, I thought looked really good in this game as well for Palace. Nothing really else to report. There's not much on Southampton you really want remotely to be involved in. And other than that, I think Sar's kind of starting to really look pretty fun and exciting, but he's owned in most leagues, so.
He's been averaging 18.12 over his last 4 games. He's been
I was looking for that at the beginning of the fucking season before I dropped him. Fucking asshole.
Did you draft him?
I think I did. Him and Fullkrug. Fucking bastards.
Next game, City 2, Leicester 0. Holland finally shows up with 24.25 points. And and then a game where they used to be expected to win just like automatically. Now them winning, it's like seems really exciting. And I will say though, like they still didn't look great. Like Leicester kind of cut them open a few different times, and they rode their luck a little bit. And like even their first goal, like that was also Savio's first goal. The first goal scored. He had another really solid outing. That's 2 games with 20 plus points for him. But yeah, they still don't look great. I don't think this is like the turning of the page. I think they're still going to struggle.
No praise from here until it's more consistent, like back of the old days for them, in my opinion.
But Keefe, you must be happy because not only does Savio have another good game, which he always has a good game when he plays, he played the whole 90 minutes, which I think Pep right now he's trying to he's not even giving people rest, he's giving them the whole 90 minutes. They do have an easy schedule coming up, Brentford and Ipswich. And someone else that we always like, Phil Foden, who's probably been the most disappointing player for the year over his last 4. He has 50.75 points, averaging 12.69. And he's had pretty good games, 7.8, 12, 13.5, 18.25. So I think his buy low window is kind of closing. Or unless you have him, you think he's not going to keep it up. But Foden looks like he's coming back fantasy-wise, performing and having the value that he was supposed to have early on in the year.
Yeah, good point. I wonder if you could maybe get someone to bite on a trade for Foden. You obviously would have to pay a little bit more than you would have 2 weeks ago. But I feel like people might still just be thinking, oh shit, like he's doing okay now. I might as well get rid of him for some value now while he's doing well. You know?
I think that'd be a 2-player trade for one. Just a
Maybe.
sprinkle.
Yeah. On the Leicester side, Alcanus looked really good. He didn't have a ton of points, but I think just from an eye test standpoint, I thought he was really solid. Otherwise, not that much I'm interested there. Moving on.
No. Yep.
Villa 2, Brighton 2. This game was kind of exciting. Watkins, 29.25 points. Goal and assist. Takes full advantage of his return to the starting lineup with Duran out. Duran will be out for, 2 more games? That was straight
2 more games.
2 more games.
Yeah, so, yep. Bailey scored 60.75, his first time over 10 points all season.
Mm-hmm. He's back, baby.
Is he back?
Yeah, and he's not really rostered very highly, just FYI. He's back, baby.
I was literally debating putting him on waivers because he's rostered in exactly 50% of leagues, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. He's burned me way too many times this year.
Mm-hmm.
Pedro, 22 points, 2 assists, and breaking ankles. I've always really liked him.
He was tearing people up in the box, man. You see, I can't remember who it was, but he dropped someone in the box and just cut down the byline. It was fucking nice. You could tell it was him because he had that bloody bandage on his head. So, what happened there? I didn't even see what happened there.
I didn't see either. Brighton is such a weird team. Enzo, you brought it up last week, but it seems like they just every week they pull some out of their reserves and starts them. Mm-hmm. So it's really hard to feel like there's consistency going on in that team.
No.
So obviously Pedro seems pretty good, seems pretty consistent, but there's not there's Enciso, there's Adingra, there's Reuter, there's Gruder, there's Mitoma, and then potentially at one point, maybe someday, Solly Marsh might come back.
He was back. He played 2 minutes.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he got 5 points.
Wow.
No, someone tried to trade him to me.
Nice. Are you guys tempted? I know you guys are both big, solid Solly Marsh truthers.
Well, I only just finally dropped him 3-4 weeks ago. It was just taking too long. I think
Tiko picked him up. No, Sergey picked him up, and then in our other league, I traded for Duran using Solly March, which at the time was a no-brainer for me.
Nate tried to give him to me.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's that slut. Tillemans has been on kind of a cold streak for Villa. Over his last 4, he's averaging 3.94 points. Get games like 8.9, 2.25, 2.5, 5, 6.
I mean, he is really a 6. So you can't expect that much. I think any points from him are kind of bonuses. But yeah.
But I think for the year he was averaging 9 though. He was averaging 9 for the year, so he kind of.
I think some of that had to do with he scored some long range goals, didn't he? Some goals from outside the box.
He had a couple goals and a couple
assists. So the variance on those are pretty high.
The main man over there now in the midfield, in my opinion, is Rodgers. You see the way that guy runs with the ball. He's so good. He should have set up a couple goals today.
He's wet Jude Bellingham.
He's wet Jude Bellingham.
Yeah,
like a wet burrito.
Yeah, just a slippery little pick.
I think he went undrafted in our league.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, he went undrafted.
Yeah,
it's surprising because from last year,
and
you were high on him from last year. So
I know, but I remember last year he looked great on the eye, but there was no fantasy value last year. This year,
he really switched. You want to know something funny? You know that he was the original, as he claimed that he was the original one to do the ice cold celebration.
I know. I was going to ask you,
but then Cole Palmer started scoring goals last year and started doing it, and then kind of co-opted it, took it over, and it's his now.
We know he's trying to patent that shit.
He was trying, but too late.
It's not going to fucking work.
Too late now.
I think Trey Young, also the basketball player from the Hawks, tried to patent it too.
He tried to patent it?
Yeah,
that's funny.
His nickname is Ice Trey, so
yeah, but it's globally the Ice Cold Palmer now. I think. You don't think so?
Is it globally? Globally?
I think it's globally.
Is it globally?
Globally.
Who do you know around the world that does that and calls it that? Yeah, but who else around the world?
Who else around the world?
You just said globally, so you're talking about from Asia to Africa.
Absolutely. Anyone that watches soccer knows that's the Cole Palmer celebration. They're not thinking that's the Morgan Rogers. They're not thinking
I like the sound of that.
Some guy in the Philippines is going, there's the Trey Young celebration that Cole Palmer's doing. No one's saying that globally.
Well,
no one's saying Ice Cold Palmer either globally.
People are saying Ice Cold Palmer everywhere.
I picture Keefe going outside to walk his dog. He's like, oh, it's ice cold today.
All right, next
All
game.
right.
Spurs 2, Wolves 2. Son misses a penalty. Uh, International teammate snitches to the goalkeeper on which way to dive. What teammate is that?
Juan.
Wong? Really?
Yeah.
You
This
lie?
is
Did
it.
you just make
He
that
was
up?
doing this the whole fucking time and right in front of Dragoson. Guess who's getting dropped from the Korea team? Guess who has to go play for North Korea now?
Oh, shut up.
Juan.
At Nori, 21 points, got an assist. We've always loved him. Ben, of course, scores a goal, but will be banned for 5 yellows right when he comes back, huh? He just came back from
back, just go back out.
You know what sucks too is if you would have made it through this game without a yellow, it would have been 10 before a ban.
Yep.
Sucks to be him.
Yep.
Cunha, goal taken off
Skinny
at
with the
halftime.
dud.
He got he was taken off at halftime because I guess he felt something in hamstring tighten up, so they took him out as a precautionary measure. Keefe, why are you so happy? You shouldn't be happy. He's gonna play the next game. At
I'm
least
not
that's what
happy.
franchise does. Yeah.
Why would he be?
You don't play.
playing?
You usually don't play
come
the
back
next
from
game
a
after hamstring.
Yeah. Especially
Well-
after 2-3 days.
It doesn't really say what it is. The coach said he felt something in his hamstring. Not sure if it's like a full grain strain or like he just picked up a knock or just got tired.
Who's Wolves playing next?
I don't think it matters for them because they're in no position to be resting anyone. They are playing. They're playing Forrest.
Yeah, well, that's a tough game right there.
I would be monitoring Wong and who comes into that position in one of the attacking three positions. It might not be Wong though, but it was interesting that he started. He's got the start over Strand Larson, and he got a goal. But the goal was very much a design set piece goal, so it was just interesting. I'm not like jumping on the Wong train, but but yeah, I'm keeping an eye on it.
You don't
He
like
definitely
that-
had
you
some.
You don't like Wong?
I like Wong.
Yeah, you like Wong?
Yeah, I do like Wong, but he had
Okay.
some good moments last year too. I know what you're trying to do
He
there,
did.
but you're not going to get me. Okay, and those are the matches. Should we
plays
just?
hard.
What'd you say?
He plays hard.
Wong, yeah, Wong is really tough.
Yeah, he's got very good control.
Okay,
He
I'm
goes
gonna
the
move on.
distance.
Doesn't
moving
come off
on to
prematurely.
waivers. Moving on to waivers. I think my number one name in waivers is Nico Williams from Nottingham Forest, owned in 36% of leagues. He's been double digits in the last 3, and then also he's been in 4 of his last 5. He's been double digits, and like pretty high double digits. And Forrest has the third best defense in the league. He started a few games in a row. I think like he is the guy there, and if you can get a defender from the third best defense in the league, who's also gonna give you a little bit of attack return too, he's a must in every league.
Defenders have been really good, but Nico Williams has been really good, and he's a stand-in every time. So you can put him in and not have to worry about it. Like like Mario. Mario's like a stand-in, so you put him in.
Yep.
And he starts.
Yep, I think he's a good one. Next one, I have Harry Wilson from Fulham. Scored the last 2 games. He was a substitute in the first one, but he started the full game. This last one, it's tough. Midfield is a tough position right now. It's very scarce. So I'm not sitting here with confidence that Harry Wilson is going to do much, but I think that sometimes you got to follow form, and right now he is on form. So if you're looking for midfielder, you're desperate, and you want those midfielders that are in attacking roles, and he's definitely in an attacking midfield role. And he's proven that he can score in different ways. Like he's pretty good. He has a pretty good foot on him. Like he can send a really nice ball into the box, and he also scored header goals. So, so yeah, I'm interested in him for sure.
As long as he does it when Annie Robertson crosses the ball, I'm golden.
Next up, we have Timothy Castagna from Fulham, another Fulham player, 32% owned. He's had 3 double-digit games also, just like Nico Williams. He's not super sexy, but he's pretty efficient and in a Fulham team that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And,
There's a lot of defenders this year, honestly.
I think this week especially, I think partially just because we're, it's short game week, so there's not a ton of turnaround on this stuff. But I think it's a good week for them. Fulham plays Ipswich next week. I think that could be that's a good matchup against them too. So I'm hot on Castagna this week. Another one I mentioned him earlier, was El Canus from Leicester. I have no statistical reason to say that I think he's a good pickup, but I think he's looked really good in a lot of games. He looked really good against City. They were easing him in pretty slowly after an injury, and he's really young. And it seems like I think he started like 7 of the last 9. He played a full 90 for the first time this week, And I think like at this point of the season, you have to start thinking about players that have the potential to break out in the second half of the season. And he's the type of guy to be, with his first year in the Premier League, that has the potential to break out and be pretty good next year. So tough one because statistically there's nothing to back it up. But I think from an odds standpoint, I think he's pretty good. He's interesting. He's a midfielder too, which is, as we know, a very scarce position. Yeah. What do you guys think?
I'm not sold, but I know what you're saying. Like, eye test looks good in the eye test.
Keefe, I try to go through his game log to see if there's anything I could take to.
It's the one game. He had one good game.
He had one amazing game, 31.5 points, but where he had a goal, assist, 3 key passes. But besides that, he averages maybe 1 key pass a game. Like, so it's just I guess just a gut feeling. If you want to,
I like it though.
Let's check back on this in May and see.
All of a sudden, big bollocks. All right, let's go.
No, let's see. I could be wrong. I'm saying I think there's a chance there. Another one I have, and this one is just, it's not so much that I believe in this player as much as I think that he's going to start getting starts, is Nicolas Fullkrug for West Ham. We were saying a few weeks ago that we kind of need to see more from him, and it turns out we just need to see less of Bowen to make him a little interesting. Because I think without Bowen there, I think that he's going to end with Antonio, with like, I don't even know what happened to Antonio. I don't know how bad his injuries are, but he's not coming back this season.
No, he ain't
That's
coming
for
back.
damn sure.
Yeah, he's not coming
So I think Fullkrug is going to get thrown in there, and he's going to have to play games.
You think Somerville's probably the player that's going to start over Bowen, but it's Somerville's still a player that cuts in. So you want someone that's going to cross the ball, man.
Yeah, I think Somerville to me has always been more of a attacking winger, like an inverted winger, like that. I think Fullkrug might actually help this team a lot if you have, just like give them a focal point up top. That's the hope. That's the reason why he was brought in. Like, he's finally healthy, and this is like why he's here. So the thought is that this is his time, and it's now or never for Fullkrug. Like, truly now or never. So again, these aren't waivers that I'm feeling great about. This is where we're at with this stuff. And then the last one is like gnarly deep cut. Are you guys ready?
No.
Reece James.
Not. What the fuck, Keefe?
Reece James.
What the fuck, bro? Why would you put him in there?
51% of leagues.
The 51% that still have him, they should be fucking looked out for psychiatric help.
You know why it's 51%, right? Those are the people who are probably bottom of the table because they drafted Reece James and they held on to him, so they were down a player.
But I'm this is kind of like a joke, but the thought process
wasn't a joke for
it's
you.
kind of like, I'm not picking him up. I'm absolutely not.
So,
but the thought process is that even at 75%, he's better than 90% of right backs in this league.
Yeah, but he'll play for 10 minutes and get injured. And
So
you'll have him for the rest of the season.
That's 10 minutes of your life, though.
when Fabriziano sent out the tweet that Reece James is going to be in the lineup, the first thing I did is I opened the Fantrax app to see who owns him, if he's available or not. Because I'm at a position right now where I'm keeping one roster spot open just in case I need to pick up like a player on a Monday game or a Wednesday game.
Look at this guy.
So I looked at it, and I like Reece James. He was a potential right back for Real Madrid. Yeah. But I have two more guys that I wanted to shout. Gomez went down from Liverpool, so Quansa. So he'll probably going to start for the next 3 or 4 games. I don't know what the Liverpool schedule is, but he doesn't get a lot of ghost points, but he'll get the clean sheets if they do get the clean sheets.
Is Penalty still injured too?
Yeah,
yes.
I was just looking that up.
I think he is.
Okay. Quanta's not bad, man. He played last year. He looked pretty good.
He's a good player. It just fantasy wise, it's just pretty clean sheet based. The other one I wanted to talk to you guys about is the player I was trying to pick up, but for whatever reason I wasn't able to. Miles Lewis Skelly. Arsenal. So the last 2 games he started left back because of all the injuries they have, but he's classified as a midfielder.
Mm-hmm.
So when the defenders get back, I think that's he's a player that Arteta's high on. He always speaks highly of him. So he might be in the rotation for right wing.
So then you pick him up?
No, remember I sent he for whatever reason he's like, fuck this guy. He's already second. So he's ahead of me points.
I think my thought with Lewis Skelly is that if it was the opposite and he was playing midfield but he was classified as a defender, it'd be a really sexy pick.
A lot more value
because he's kind of capped on his value because of that flip. Yeah. Even if he was just a defender and he was playing in defense, I think this would be really interesting. It'll also be interesting now that Calafiori is healthier. If he'll start to start, if Skelly will continue to start, if Calafiori will come into that left back role this week.
I think Calafiori is expected to play tomorrow, and it'd be interesting to see if Skelly plays that right wing in place of Saka, or they will do what they were doing, putting Jesus and drop Havertz in the midfielders.
Yeah, it will be interesting.
Yeah.
Arsenal will be interesting, and then hopefully it'll also be entertaining because right now they're interesting and boring.
Yeah.
We're gonna see tomorrow. Are we gonna do that little?
It's not tomorrow, isn't it? Wednesday.
Sorry, Wednesday.
Enzo, have you thought about that? You're gonna start the new year being like a huge Arsenal fan, wanting them to win and get a clean sheet. That's how your new year's gonna start.
No, I'm just gonna go with it, man.
What did we say? It. Wait, why do you want? Oh, because you want. Yeah, you want.
He needs Havertz to score and the clean sheet.
Yeah,
that's 15 points right there.
Yeah.
You need one of those two things to happen, realistically.
Or Kai Havertz can score 2 goals and Brentford could score 2 goals and it'd be in Mbembo, and then I still get the points and I still win.
Yeah, a lot of hypotheticals. What were we saying with this game, Enzo? That we thought this might be a little bit of a trap game.
This was a
Arsenal?
good game to bet on. Yeah, it's a good betting game.
At the G-Tech, at home for Brentford. Arsenal without Saka.
Let's hedge the bet, bro.
So you want to bet on Brentford?
Hell
what do
yeah.
you think, Tiko?
What are you hedging?
Because I need Arsenal to do well, and if I lose, I got to win.
Yeah, we're not
money
hedging anything. You're just looking out for Enzo.
My mental illness.
I'm interested in this, but we can talk about it. I guess we're not going to talk about it, but
Yeah,
I'm
we'll talk about it
intrigued.
later. All right.
But all right, that is it. That's it. That's the episode. This has been episode 72 of Draft Offsides. My name is Keefe. I'm with Tiko and Enzo, and we will see you next week.
Check out YouTube, Instagram, X, all that.
At Draft Offsides. We started doing producer Sergey started doing, what are they called? On
Shorts.
YouTube? Shorts on YouTube. They're kind of funny.
Enzo calls them trousers.
Very short trousers. You fucking idiot. Oh my God.